I feel like a Spider-Man show could be fantastic, but I would want it to be large in scope. You know, maybe he could still be in high school, but I would want it to be Spider-Man accessing all of his villains. And to me, from so far what I've seen, this story seems like it's going to be small in scope.
Before we get into this trailer, I would be curious to see what the audience excitement level is for this.
Dang.
Watch out for that ladder! I truly believe that I have these powers to help people.
Welcome to Backseat Directing,
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron.
We put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
Today we're reacting to the new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man trailer.
3, 2, 1.
Action! We are back.
We're back
With another Spider-Man piece of content. Marvel just thought they could sneak this trailer right past us. And we said, no, you can't. We got you.
Gotta be quicker than that.
So,
This has 3 million views in one day. So decent views, nothing compared to the Superman numbers that were breaking the internet the other week. But, you know.
I haven't heard too much about this yet. I haven't really seen anyone talking about it too much, at least on my news feed.
Like you said, this one kind of went a little bit under the wire because having been posted, YouTube says a day ago. I mean, I would have expected to see a little bit here on TikTok, a little bit on Twitter. So
normally that's how it goes, right? At least, especially with the Superman trailer. I mean, it's comparing apples and oranges here. But
I hear everyone talking about how the suit looks, how crypto looks, you know, when the movie's coming out. It was very much more so talked about. So
yeah, so before we get into this trailer, I would be curious to see what the audience excitement level is for this project, you know, and also yours too. Where do you kind of sit for this project coming out? You know,
I mean, anything Spider-Man, there's always a little bit of interest, but I feel like I'm closer to disinterested than interested in this project because I don't see a particular need for it. It just seems like it's going to be a little one-off, little one-shot story, but maybe the trailer can get me excited for it. That'll be the test here. What about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. You know, I don't really know kind of where this fits, you know, in the rest of the MCU Marvel story at all.
I feel like a Spider-Man show could be fantastic, but I would want it to be large in scope. You know, maybe he could still be in high school, but I would want it to be Spider-Man accessing all of his villains. And to me, from so far what I've seen, this story seems like it's going to be small in scope.
Yeah, I would too like to see an animated Spider-Man show or movie that's a little more on the adult side. You know, a lot of the
game, Spider-Man's a little older and dealing with more of the struggles of real life.
Yeah, we have a lot of Spider-Man shows, but they're very geared towards kids, I would say.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of animated Batman content that's kind of right in the middle, you know, where kids can enjoy it, but an adult can get in and it's going over kind of serious stuff, and it has big action and all that stuff. So
I'll say it again. Insomniac's first Spider-Man game is one of my favorite depictions of Spider-Man. Yuri Lowenthal, probably my favorite voice for Spider-Man from that game. His work in that game, but then like you said, he's facing tough things. Spider-Man's beaten, bloodied, broken bones, real kind of dark stuff. I mean, he takes a heavy beating, and he has to watch his aunt. Spoiler alert for the game. Skip ahead 5 seconds. He has to watch his aunt die and sacrifice her for the city of New York and the many other lives that he knows the choice she would want him to make as well. So that's heavy stuff, and I don't particularly see that out of this, especially because from what I just read on IMDb trivia, the show was originally meant to be in the MCU, but kind of giving background to the area of Tom Holland's Spider-Man prior to Spider-Man Homecoming. So it was originally written to be
prequel.
Yeah, it was written to be kind of an inside look at him getting his powers, discovering he's Spider-Man, and while he's in school with, you know, Liz and MJ and Ned. So that wouldn't, not too much could have happened by then because we've seen him
even have his real suit by then.
Yeah, and we've seen him in Homecoming, and he really doesn't do in Homecoming. He doesn't have that much of a handle on his powers or who he is as Spider-Man. So there's not too much room to work in there. But since then, they have removed it from the MCU. and now they're saying it's kind of it's an alternate
Elseworld.
It's an alternate reality, Elseworld story in DC words. But they also said that how did they phrase it? They said that it's basically an extended What If episode. So it's
Okay.
which that show hasn't done too well in its last 2 seasons either.
Yeah.
Another part of the reason I'm less excited.
Well, at least with this, like the whole season's like connected.
More story.
You know, What If is each episode's kind
It's
of
an
its
anthology.
own thing. Well, let's go over some homecoming or housekeeping real quick is what I meant to say, and then we'll jump into this trailer.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button, as well as that notification bell. Make sure that you use the link below to join our Discord and follow us on all of our short-form social media platforms at YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. You can follow us on Spotify as well.
Boom!
Thank you, guys.
Well said. All
Love
right,
you.
let's get into this trailer.
Spooter.
Peter, you're gonna be late.
Bro's sleeping on the ceiling.
I'm okay.
Dang, he just like broke his back there.
Petey's always been a bit clumsy.
You know me, clumsy, Petey, Parker. Mr. Campbell, I remembered I left something in the bathroom. Deuces. Parker out.
So this is like the prototype suit.
It looks kind of cool.
Me. Check out our next victim in his dumbass costume.
Is my suit really that bad? Ouch.
Dang.
Watch out for that ladder.
Are these kids he's fighting?
From your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's me. By the way, I'm Spider-Man.
I truly believe that I have these powers to help people, to protect them.
Classic. That Aunt May looked like Marissa Tomei, like her age at least.
So, you're Spider-Man. With my help, you'll achieve greatness.
That's Coleman Domingo.
Man, this suit's incredible. If you ever need another butt kicking, just look for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And no, you may not be excused from said test. Ah, nice of you to join us, Mr. Parker. See me after class.
I like that suit. So my first question to you is, how do you feel about the animation?
I kind of like it.
Feels like a comic book.
It
to life.
looks like one of the original kind of old school Spider-Man comic books. You know, like with how dark the shadows are and how vibrant the colors are. And stuff.
hard line. You know,
Yeah.
like thick lines around the character and the details of the world.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. And typically, what happens with an animated show or movie for me is like maybe my first impression is like I don't love it, but as I like get into the show and watch it, you know, a few episodes in, I really fall in love with it. That's how it was with Invincible for me. You know, the first episode, I was like, all right, like this is, I don't want to say basic because that's kind of an insult, but like this is, you know, like it's kind of smaller, a little more like Saturday cartoonish, you know, and now it's like, oh, I love the style because I love the movie or the show, and it kind of just grew on me a bunch. And I feel like that's what happens with comic books too, because you're reading a comic book that you love, and then you switch to a different comic book made by a different artist, and you're not used to their style yet. But as you get a couple issues in, you learn to really appreciate and look forward to that new art style that you're now reading.
Yeah, I don't think I can think of a single example of an animated show or movie where I just outright didn't like the art, didn't like the animation. But anything that I finish, at least like you're talking about, you know, where you spend a good amount of time watching it and it starts to grow on you. There are certainly things that I think, oh, the animation in this isn't as good as something else. but I feel like usually that's in like the particular details, the depth, and predominantly for me in the movement, maybe because I'm not as much of an artist. I know we talked recently about some of the like lighting, whether adaptive lighting and shading, but to me, mostly I notice quality of animation in the movement because I'm not an animator, I'm more surface level technical aspects of animation, like the smoothness of the movement, the amount of movement, and like the choreography of the animation is what I tend to notice first.
Well, what did you think of this one?
I feel like he seems to be moving quite a bit, like swinging
Yeah.
through the air. It doesn't look like they're shying away from like a lot of Spider-Man flips and swings and the acrobatics of Spider-Man. And then when it comes to animated projects, the other thing that I look or listen for closely is like the voice acting. And I feel like maybe this voice has a little bit of room to grow on me.
He felt like he was trying a little hard to be nerdy, didn't it?
Yeah,
Peter
I was
Parker?
thinking trying hard to sound young. Like I
Yeah.
thought it sounded like
I'm Peter Parker.
yeah. But I thought it sounded maybe not the most natural and off the cuff as like a Spider-Man voice. We talked, I think, no, we talked about this just before we played the trailer. I love Yuri Lowenthal's voice of Spider-Man. Obviously, that's like a 25, 26-year-old version of Spider-Man, so it has more maturity to it. But I feel like it's really fitting, and I feel like he captures the intelligence and nerdiness without going over that line of,
Cheesy.
yeah, being too nerdy to being like, okay, this is like an unrealistic person who just doesn't have social skills. Like I feel like he toes all of that really well. I'd have to hear and see more of his interactions to get like a real grasp on that for this show, but I think overall the trailer looks pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's like skyrocketed me into insane excitement for the show.
That was going to be my next question, actually. Like, did this trailer make you more excited, less excited, kind of kept you where you're at in excitement level? Like, did the trailer work on you, or do you kind of still need to see the first episode before you can really decide?
I'm more excited, but the bar was low. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would say like if my excitement was ranked on a scale, it'd probably be sitting around like a 5. You know?
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, maybe a 4 before the
Yeah,
trailer.
I feel like I could agree with you. Maybe like a point lower, both before and after. The trailer was edited really well, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the exact style of the show. I did like how he was coming out of like comic book panels and pages and stuff.
The
And
use of the music was really
the use
effective.
of
I
the
thought I
music
felt
was
it.
really fast and like to the beat. I don't know if that's how the show is going to feel.
Yeah.
Because a trailer is obviously more hype and quicker, and you're trying to like really show like the cool pieces. So I don't know if that's the feeling that we're gonna get exactly with the show. Like, is he actually gonna be flying out of these comic panels in the show? Is that how it's gonna be animated, or was that just like a cool editing trick?
I just wonder if it's going to be like for adults and kids, but leaning more towards kids, because that's the vibe I'm getting from it so far, is leaning a little bit closer towards the young side for
Yeah.
audience approach. I thought that like both the suits look really cool. The main thing I think, honestly, so far that attracts me to the project is the voice cast. It's namely just 2 people, and I was looking at IMDb of the folks that are cast in this movie, and Coleman Domingo is cast as Norman Osborn, like I said during the watch of the trailer, and Daredevil is going to be voiced by none other than Charlie Cox.
Oh, Daredevil's in this.
Yes,
I didn't
and
realize that.
I think he's not obviously not in the trailer. We didn't see him, but I think that's like a good reference point to the fact that they were originally going to have it be in the MCU, is that they have Daredevil being voiced by Daredevil,
Think
by
he'll look
Charlie
like him
Cox.
too? Maybe not anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
originally,
I feel like they were so far in the process before they decided to take it out of the MCU that storyboarding and art wise, he might still look like him.
Well, that didn't look like Tom Holland.
Yeah, but it's arguable. I mean, it's Spider-Man. Tom Holland kind of looks like that. Just kid with brown hair,
Yeah,
messy
maybe.
brown hair.
I wouldn't have been.
You
I
wouldn't have picked
like,
him out.
Picked him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Tom Holland there.
But I think that, I mean, obviously, like their Norman Osborn doesn't look like their universe's Norman Osborn if you go by the standards of No Way Home, or like he doesn't look like he could be related to. No, they haven't had Harry, so I guess that's the non-starter. I was thinking of Harry from TASM 2, but yeah, I think that he probably will look kind of like the DD we know. That's my best guess, but I'm really excited to see Charlie Cox voicing Daredevil. I'm always hyped to see him reprise his role in Daredevil anyway, live action or animated.
Yeah.
So, and then Coleman Domingo signing on is just kind of crazy. Like he's been really going off in like his career lately. So having him voice Norman Osborn, I think he sounds great from the little we got.
How do you get people excited for a Disney Plus show in the MCU, you put Daredevil in there.
Yeah.
So
That's all. That's Daredevil's their marketing tool right now. He's just like
Yeah.
a ping pong ball they're passing along with, and then they're like, "All right, now put him in an episode of She-Hulk." Now put him in it. He recorded his lines for this when he filmed She-Hulk, which was in like what 2020 or 20
Jeez.
something like that.
yeah, so man, a lot's changed there.
2022.
You know how things go, like with these MCU topics that we talk about. We always work our way back to Daredevil in some capacity. Really hope that they do a good job with Daredevil, you know?
Yeah.
But the vibe that I got from this trailer is that it is kind of more for kids. And that's fine. You know, I feel like every generation kind of has their Spider-Man show.
Yeah, there's got to be some stuff for kids in there too.
Yeah. Like
It's
the
only-
one that I would watch was like Spider-Man and Friends or something.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what it was called.
when I was younger, I watched the Disney XD one, Ultimate Spider-Man. I like
Yeah.
that show, and then like a little bit of the '90s Spider-Man series too.
Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that they're making a kids Spider-Man show, you know? I would just like something to be a little more for both audiences.
I think I'd be a little bit more excited if it was still tied to the MCU. It's like back and forth because I'd be excited to have Tom Holland voicing Spider-Man, but a little bit disappointed that I knew that they really couldn't go that far with the story. Like we didn't get.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to see any of his villains.
I don't think we'd really be able to get that Green Goblin because if it's tied to the MCU, they'd have to be sure of casting Coleman Domingo as a live action Goblin.
Right.
It would just be too convoluted.
Yeah. And that's one of the
Issues.
setbacks of kind of going into this bigger world of the MCU. But it is nice that they're willing to put out like these kind of singular projects, you know?
You want to watch it one more time before we close out, just to see if there's any Easter eggs or details that we might have missed?
Yeah, sure. One last viewing here. Let me pull it up. All right.
Always appreciate a comic book reference. Homage to where it came from. And maybe we can talk a little bit more during this one freely,
Yeah.
you know, not having to worry about interrupting.
Peter.
See, this is the comic book panel right here. A bunch of panels.
Yeah, like is that how the show is gonna be, or
Yeah.
yeah? Look how dark those shadows are,
Underneath his hair. Yeah, that feels like old school comic books.
like under his chin, and
And this is the
there's
music.
there's no shading outside of the dark shadows.
Yeah, like you're talking about otherwise on his face or anything. His face is just one
Like
one note.
They have one tone colors for each tone.
Which I feel like could easily feel kind of bland after a while, you know?
I feel like they're doing a good job though.
Just like limited, you know, detail to the landscaping background.
I feel like that's how
look.
comics used to be, you know? Like printers could only print so many like variety of colors.
That brick is also crazy. Like these look like kids, and you just hit one in the head with a brick. Also, what is Spider-Man doing live streaming?
He's a young kid.
So it's coming out really soon, January 29th. They should drop the whole thing. Honestly, like, come on, just drop the whole thing. That's oh, I didn't realize that's an Easter egg. That's a reference to Civil War. That's the clip that Tony pulls up for him on his phone where he stops the truck from hitting the bus. Little Captain America Easter egg. That one's obvious to see the first time. I don't know much about this suit. I just know it's in the game. I've swung around in this suit in the Spider-Man video games.
Yeah, it's a cool suit, but he obviously loses it, right? Oh well, it's not part of the MCU. So
Yeah.
No.
Excused from said test. Nice of you to join us, Mr. Parker. See me after class.
One thing I do like too, on top of all the homage we talked about to old school comics, that's like the OG Spider-Man theme song. And I mean, yeah, they always use the Spider-Man music in a sense. Like it's kind of sneaks its way into the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, you know, with that like the lady playing on the violin. But that sounds the way it originally sounded.
Right.
You know, it has that. It's like the exact rendition that was the original one, and that has a cool nostalgic feeling to it. So
Yeah, they're kind of throwing it back
They're leaning into
on this on this series,
which I can appreciate.
Which is cool. Yeah, exactly. All right, what do you guys think of this trailer? We watched it twice. We reacted to it. We gave you our thoughts, but we want to hear what you think down in the comments below. If you want to chat even further than the comments, we have a Discord that you can join where we kind of go even more in depth of the movies and shows that we're watching, and any upcoming projects. We post our episode topics that we record in advance there. We take suggestions in the Discord. We go over like rankings and polls and debates and all this stuff. Like we just recently did our top movies of 2024. We put our list in there. We did an episode on it. And then everyone in the Discord started putting their lists of their favorite movies of the year. And it was cool to have that conversation with everyone.
And when stuff like that happens, a lot of conversation unfolds because there's a lot to unpack in everybody's 25 movies, who's high and who's low.
Yeah.
Aaron also will usually post discount codes there for his OnlyFans.
That's right. But you have to join the Discord in order to get those. So click that link in the bio. That link to the Discord is
free. And
That's
sometimes
all it is.
It does only last a week though, so sometimes it'll time out. If you go ahead and comment or DM us, we'll send you an updated link to the Discord. You can join for free.
But yeah, make sure you let us know what you thought of this trailer, what your excitement level is. We post new full episodes every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so you don't miss a thing, because every once in a while we're putting out extra episodes, especially right now at the beginning of the new year. There's a lot of topics that we have to discuss, so make sure you check out that subscription button.
Make sure you join. Yeah. Hit the notification bell. Got a lot of cool stuff coming.
Where else are we?
We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. We post regularly on all of them, just not on X.
We've been waiting for someone to call us out.
We're protesting. Yeah. We're protesting the name change. But yeah, you can check us out on all those. You can also follow us on Spotify or check us out anywhere that you get your podcast. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We love reviews on those. 5-star reviews help new people find the channel. And usually, if you're on YouTube here, which I suspect you are, as our main channel, we have to grow those other ones. So feel free to let us know if you have somebody who is a Spotify listener in your life. Tell them to check us out on there.
Yes. Thanks so much for watching, and
that's a wrap.